Gaming Today presents Cash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Thursday, July 23rd. We are here, ready to go. We finally made it to the start of one of the major sports here in America. It's opening day for baseball. We got a lot to talk about. We brought a special guest in today to do so. But before we get to our special guest, let's welcome in the boys together in the one spot with one microphone, two guys. Let's start off with Heed These Takes. Mo Toy Pearson. What's up, Mo?
What's going on, gentlemen? You know, another week, feeling good.
Yeah, just another week of, pandemic, quarantine, sports, soccer, and Finau at the top of the leaderboard at golf, which we'll get to later. AB, Alan Berg, at @Berg on Twitter. What's up, man?
I'm next to Matoy, so you know what my mood is at the moment.
He's not happy.
Yeah, right. Well, somebody's got to do it, AB. We appreciate you taking one for the team.
Yeah, well, we'll put a lineup on whether I choke him in this show, because it's happened before.
With the goatee coming in the bottom box, the GT hat on, horse plays galore, him and Minty just putting content out all the time. And the first print paper for Gaming Today in weeks, months came out today. Howard Barish, managing editor at Gaming Today. HB, what's up?
Hey, it was a great week. It was another milestone among the next few weeks of milestones. Fingers crossed. The print edition is out in most of the properties that are open, and it was very exciting. And again, thanks to our publisher, Bill Paulos, for keeping us going and letting us do our thing all these weeks.
Yeah, the online edition has been great, but for old school guys and people that like the stuff in the book and actually touching the paper, it's good to have you back in the books. Reynolds producing the show. I am Reynolds 2305. He's got all the levels up. Everyone's ready to go. And on our yet to be named sponsored guest line tonight, we have Chuck Esposito, the Sportsbook director at Sunset Station. Chuck, welcome to the circus here at the Cash Considerations podcast. First of all, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. It's, yay Sportsbooks, first of all. The fact that we have some sports back tonight, I'm beyond excited that we're able to get our team back in order, get the games on, and see some guests who we hadn't seen for a while. So, I heard Circus was having some problems, Circus, but it's good to be out with the circus with you guys.
Well, we're all glad to be back in books for sure. I'll start off the questions with this. How long was your quarantine, and how was it for you personally? Because you've been in this racket a long time in this town. And I know for myself, it was the longest time I've ever been out of work or not doing anything. How was your quarantine?
Same. It was extremely rough. So used to watching sports, and your whole life revolves around sports. I mean, for our side of the counter, of course, we have a vested interest in every single game, and now we had nothing. So it was rough. I got to spend a lot more time with the family, which was enjoyable. But I think they were all looking forward to me getting back at it and getting these games rolling. It's been fun to be back for the last 6-7 weeks. We've seen a huge resurgence in horse racing, a lot of handle in some of the other sports, Aussie football, a lot of soccer, UFC, KBO. But now that the big boys are back, it's just you could just feel a different buzz and electricity in our sports book over the last day or so.
Did you get into these off sports? Did you actually pay attention to the KBO or, you don't have to kiss Howard's ass just because you're on the show here. But I mean, you've always been a horse racing guy. I get that. But did you guys do the table tennis? Did you do the Aussie rules football? Have you gotten into that as far as booking it, or did you just kind of hold your ground until you get to this?
No, we did. We did book, not all of it. We didn't book the table tennis. We did the Aussie football. We did the KBO. Anything that we could kind of put up to expand our wagering menu, I think was a win-win for us, just to give the guests something else to bet on a daily basis. Tried to follow it a little bit. Of course, once you have a sport and you have a rooting interest, you are going to pay attention to the scores and trends and things that are going on. But just, again, really happy that baseball started. We know on the 30th we get the NBA, and then by the 1st, it's almost going to be somewhat like a college basketball tournament for us because you've got all three sports going, starting on that Saturday at 9 a.m. until late that night. So kind of a different atmosphere where August is usually a slow time for us. It's going to be crazy busy, at least for those 3 weeks when you've got everything going on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in August like none of us have ever seen before. And you're right, West Coast time, we're going to have sports from the time we open pretty much to the time we close, around the clock, and combining the same time NBA, NHL, and baseball. Usually we're reserved for that for April, May, and the playoffs runs and stuff. And now we got August with it's really going to be a lot of fun. I know you're a baseball fan. What is your takeaway? Like, did you guys change the rules? I know at some of our books, we went to the all action play with baseball. Did you guys do that at stations, or are you still sticking with the listed pitchers?
We are still sticking with the listed pitchers. It's funny that you bring that up, though, because that was such a hot topic today. As soon as it came out that Kershaw wasn't going to go, so many people were asking about that and inquiring about exactly how that works. Number one, it's always an education process when baseball season starts, more than any other sport because of the way money lines work and run lines. And if a pitcher doesn't go or if a game gets called before it's over, you'd have no action on those things. So it's a little bit of a communication and education to get these guests up to speed. But we are still listing pitchers at stations, racing sportsbooks.
Chuck, I know about you, but we feel like we've been educating customers for 20 years. The questions are the same.
It never stops.
But it never stops. And
Never.
I, for one, am glad that I don't have to explain an adjusted price for the first time ever in a book for the next year. And it ironically happens on opening day when we get Juan Soto scratched from the lineup for the Nationals, Kershaw scratched and put on the injured list already, and then there's a downpour in Washington. We may have the rainout rule come into play if they don't start this thing back up. I mean, how can it all happen all on one day in 2020?
It's baseball. It was funny, but the thing that we did the most this afternoon was print copies of our house rules and highlight those exact rules because we know what it's going to be like for the rest of the night. So it just happens, but you're right. It's such an unfortunate thing for the first day back to have all three of those things kind of come into play. And there's rules that a lot of the bettors probably aren't really aware of or up to speed on, too, with some changes. So I'm just glad they're back, but it is a little bit different right now with baseball, especially with the DH. Three pitchers, the three batter minimum for relief pitchers, which changes some things. So some interesting twists, but in the expanded playoffs, which they announced today after we had already made adjustments and you posted everybody for the postseason. So, but again, happy that they're back and beyond excited. And yay, sportsbooks at this point.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. It wasn't enough to have all that happen, but then a couple hours before the first pitch is going to be thrown, the expanded playoffs is approved. There's going to be more teams that make the playoffs in Major League Baseball than don't. And we're still not 100% sure of how it's going to be played out because you may be able to pick your opponent if you're the top.
Right.
Did that affect anything you guys did odds-wise? We just kind of sat back and said, listen, we just have World Series odds up and pennant odds up, and they're staying up. And we may adjust a couple here and there. Did you guys have to make any changes immediately, or will you going forward based on that thing today?
We did make some changes, Dave. It wasn't a blanket where every team, but we did make some adjustments. And we'll kind of wait and see. I mean, usually baseball is a marathon. This year it's a sprint. If you look at the way the Nationals started last year, they wouldn't be the defending champs under a 60-game format. So we're just going to kind of monitor it. You'll be adjusting it a lot more, but you're not going to see that team out of it. Just because they're maybe 3 or 4 games out, I think you're going to have a lot more adjustments as we move forward. But you're right. The confusing part is not knowing exactly. I heard the guys on TV talking to the commissioner tonight, and they said, so the number one team in each league gets a bye, correct? He said, no, that's not true. So they were even confused about it. So there definitely is some confusion right now of how the postseason is going to work.
Yeah, there's no buys. Apparently the top team's going to have a pick your opponent type deal. So you can pick one of the wild card teams that you want to play, not necessarily the last place team. Sounds like a wrestling move, AB. I don't know. We'll get into that in a minute, but
And no travel. No travel. Whoever the home team is, I believe all 3 games in that best of 3 will be played in one city. So it's definitely different than what we've seen before. And I think once that rolls around, you will see some different prices because you won't be getting the home and home. There'll be no travel. You'll be able to pick your opponent, which maybe is a good thing, maybe is a bad thing.
Right.
But it'll be an interesting kind of twist to it.
yeah, it's like you said, we're just glad it's back. But I personally am glad I'm in the hub in the office and not at the counter answering all the questions that are going to come and going to continue to come going forward. You're originally from Chicago, right?
That's correct. Yep.
White Sox or Cubs?
Whoever we happen to need on that given day, I'm rooting for, buddy. No more favorite teams, you know?
Have you seen the influx of every year the Cubs? I joke about it all the time on Twitter and with people on the show. The futures market here in Vegas are so Chicago-centric. Every year the Cubs are 1, 2, or 3 in number of tickets written. The Bears are usually 1, 2, or 3 in number of tickets written. The Bulls haven't been for years because they just haven't been good. And the Blackhawks are top 5 in hockey every year. This year, the team is the Chicago White Sox. Have you guys seen a big influx of White Sox backing and bets at stations?
Absolutely. They were the team that dropped the most on the entire board. I think they actually have the 4th lowest odds right now to win the World Series. They're a very popular bet. Every year you have those vogue teams. I think in the National League, it's been the Reds. In the American League, it's been the White Sox. They're backing that team a lot. I think you look at that team, they're a very good young team. And I think the one thing that plays well for the White Sox, and I think it plays well for the Twins as well, that both those 2 teams get to play the Royals and Tigers combined 20 times. I think that helps those 2 teams have an opportunity just to get to the postseason, especially now with 2 teams making it from every division. I think it really helps those 2 teams a lot.
Yeah, it's really interesting because now every team, first and second, both get automatically in. After that, who's going to get in? It's probably going to be another team in the Central in both leagues because they get to play the bad teams a lot, whether it's the Tigers and the Royals, the Pirates I would throw in there. And it's probably going to be one of the NL East or AL East teams that get to play Baltimore a lot, as well as the Miami Marlins. But again, those are the teams that, we know. I think there's going to be 25 teams and fans, and futures are going to be, like you said, going to have to be managed daily because a 3-game winning streak, 4-game winning streak is going to change the standings, and a team with a losing record is probably going to make the playoffs the way it's going right now.
I totally agree. And even the situation that happened today with Soto, I mean, they're talking about him being out for 14 days. So you may have teams that are in it who get a player that's going to be out for a while or a few players, or vice versa. Teams that aren't now have an opportunity to move up. So completely different dynamic. Again, baseball was always that marathon where you talked about teams don't win the pennant in April and May, but they can lose it. This year it's going to be who gets off to that hot start, I think, to maybe carry that over into the postseason.
Yeah. Well, before we let you get out of here, Chuck, I'm going to give you an opportunity to maybe give us 2 teams in each league that you think are actually going to be not only in contention to make the playoffs, but have a real shot at maybe winning the World Series. And it doesn't have to be a hometown team. Like you said, hometown teams are pretty much done. The Knights are the hometown team for all of us. But who are you looking at maybe as really being either a dark horse or just a chalk favorite in either league? Probably 2 of each.
Talking about baseball, right, Dave?
Yes.
Baseball, I'm still going back to the Twins a lot. I like that team. I like the way that they played last year, and I love the division they play in. I think I can't stress enough that having those 20 games against the Royals and Tigers, I think there's huge separation there. The Indians, I think, have taken a step back. The White Sox are a very young team. I think getting off to a good start is critical to them. So I'm going to stick with the Twins. And I think if I'm looking for a long shot and kind of maybe a value pick in the American League, a little bit off the radar in the American League West because we know the Astros are there and the Angels are there. I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers just for value and the price because of their pitching staff. I think you look at the top 5 guys they got in that rotation, they can pretty much match up with anybody in the American League. So I'm going to go with those 2 teams in the American League. National League, I think I'm going to go with the Phillies as a team that I think this year they take that next step. I think with Girardi there, I think they take the next step. And you know, I know everybody likes the Reds. I'm still going to back off the Reds a little bit. I still think the Cubs, even though I'm from Chicago, it's not just because of that. I like
Bias
that
play.
team. I like what
Bias play.
what David Ross brings to that team. I think it was time for Madden to go. I think he had done a good job when they were young, but he didn't adapt as that team needed some control and some discipline. I'm going to go with the Cubs, the Phillies, the Twins, and the Rangers as my long shot value pick.
Excellent. All right, there you have it. So before we let you go, the last question I just wanted to ask, I wanted to ask that before the baseball pick. Do you think we're going to see college football? Yes or no?
Oh, you know, it's so fluid, guys, that it changes almost every day. And you know, when teams announced they're only going to play in conference, I was much more encouraged. It's taken a step back since then. Now you're starting to hear some more good news come out. I'm going to say it's 50-50, and maybe 51-49 in favor right now. I'm going to say that there's some semblance of college football, although I think it starts a little bit later than what the original start date would be.
What's the yes/no price, Chuck? What we do on this show all the time is we just break it down and give a number. Yes is minus 115. Is that fair?
I'd say minus 115, minus 120. That's
Okay.
probably what I would put up right now. Yep.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Chuck Esposito. Chuck, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks,
the
Chuck.
director at Sunset Station. His baseball picks are in the American League, the Twins, and who else was it?
The Rangers.
The Texas
Rangers.
as a dark horse. And in the National League, we had the Cubs and
Phillies.
Listen to the
Phillies.
show, Dave.
Yeah,
Listen
Dave.
to the show.
I got 16 notes here. I didn't want to mess it up. Thank you, Alan. Chuck, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you on again down the road. Enjoy the time at Sunset Station, and welcome back all the customers, even including the horse players.
Thank you. Dave.
Thanks, guys. Love being out with you guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, take it easy.
See you, buddy.
All right, that was Chuck Esposito, the sportsbook director at Sunset Station. That was our interview this week. Chuck is back. We're all back, but sports are back. Let's just go positive.
Yeah, there it is.
I don't know. We got word tonight that Nevada is going full online for school, and all the fall sports have been postponed until the spring.
Yeah.
So there's no football. There's no nothing. So that's what I'm dealing with right now, trying to explain to the kids why there ain't going to be none of that. But that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that personally for me after the show. So going off of what Chuck just said, boys, let's talk a little bit of baseball before we move on. You couldn't get anything better of an opening day and all the bullshit that we're going to have to deal with in the books, with Soto being left out of the lineup and him possibly being coronavirus positive. And now I just got a text alert. He tested negative 3 times
There we go.
with
There
the
it is.
instant test by the Nationals. So the 14-day quarantine may be 2, and he may be playing by Monday. You got to be really careful with these lines. Anybody looking to bet this stuff, let alone book it. Did you guys see it today at work with the action? Or, I mean, I know us, it felt like it was World Series Game 7. We wrote more Yankees and Dodger parlays today like it was a normal day. How about you guys?
Yeah, the Yankees action was just flying in.
Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah.
I seen a lot of Yankees to Juventus as soon as I walked in the door. So I got in at like 7 a.m. and when you get Juventus to Yankees, minus 1.5, you know where you're at right now in the sports world.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me right now, like obviously the Soto and the Kershaw thing is wild, but we have 14, 13 games tomorrow. Like that was barely the tip of the iceberg. Tomorrow
Today was
might
a
be an
taste.
absolute
Just a taste.
tragedy. So we'll have to the next show that we do, it's gonna probably be hilarious. It's gonna be a comedy.
Over under a half, a risk guy quits tomorrow with all the COVID changes.
Yes, probably good. I would say
Yeah, I like
over 3.5
heavy juice.
desktops destroyed.
Yeah.
Alan, why just risk? How about like a counter manager that's just going to be overwhelmed with the customers?
Oh my god.
Sorry, we're
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
Lunch. Lunch from 12 to 1. Be back soon.
It's, you know.
You know, what time does the first game start? You take your lunch then. You don't want to be there then. That's it. That time. Oh, where you at? I'm at lunch. I was classic for that. I used to do that all the time.
Hey, but, in these times, that brought up a good question. With all these people betting on apps, can they get somebody on the phone at your places if they have a customer relations problem?
They can with us, but unfortunately, most of the time, the tech guys don't know the rules. They usually have to take
Wow.
a message and call us and then get the ruling or the answer
Right.
and then call the customer back.
And that's always good 5 or 10 minutes before the game.
It's always right on their phone, the house rules, but no one reads anything. So
Yeah. Well, you just heard Chuck. They actually printed them out and
Highlighted.
highlighted them to keep them on the counter or right behind the counter to just hand them because you know it's coming. You just know what's coming.
only one issue. It still requires people to read. So
Fair enough.
that
Good. Yeah, not good.
Well, and remember, it's hard to retain information when you're trying to get down action. So, I mean, there's a lot going on, really.
Oh, like remembering the Twins and the Phillies?
Exactly. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What about like HB on the website? You guys have Gaming Today has the lines for a lot of different books. Did you guys see it either like an increase in just that in general? I mean, people kind of monitoring that. Like now, that's another resource that our listeners can go to. You should. There's 6 casinos on there now that are using it.
There are. We'll
Okay.
have to check the traffic counts in the next day or two. Not fair to really look at it today.
Right.
Other than there was the mayhem of Kershaw, and each book was coming in 10 or 15 minutes apart from the other. So Westgate was in first, and I kept refreshing it and waiting for the next one and the next one. Caesars was second. Good job, guys.
They were on it. They
Nice.
were on it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way. Well, I don't know if we're going to get ours up there, but that's a whole nother story. So baseball's back. I'll give you guys an opportunity. Pick a team in each league that you think we should be looking at, odds-wise value. I know with the expanded playoffs announcement today, we took futures bets on 28 of the 30 teams today. The only 2 teams that I did not see a future bet on, surprisingly today, was the Phillies, and the American League team was the Texas Rangers, actually. I went through and look, we took as little as $5 bets on the Orioles, the Tigers, all the shit teams, as well as all the favorite teams. We took bets on. But I'll go to you first, HB. Any particular team in either league, one team in each league that we should look forward to maybe contending or just ride the chalk all the way to the playoffs?
I think in the National League, it's a chalk. It's the Dodgers. They're just way too stacked. And the today with Kershaw news, who knows how long he'll be out with his back. And that could be 4 starts.
Yep.
At a 10 or 11.
Yep.
And then in the American League, I'll ride Chuck and go with the Twins, just not knowing enough.
Okay. All right. AB, anybody?
All right, I got a list for you.
Fire away, baby. Let's
Now,
go.
When it comes to baseball, everyone knows I do my research, which means I didn't do any research. There it is.
Yeah.
AL East, I got the Rays.
Rays.
AL Central, I got the Twins. AL West, I got the A's.
Yes.
NL East, I got the Phillies. NL Central, I got the Brewers.
Ooh.
NL West, I got the Dodgers.
Okay.
Wild cards are the Astros, the Angels, the Cardinals, and the Fajas. And then I got World Series champion Philadelphia Phillies over the Rays as they go to die once again.
Yeah, Rays died there.
Jesus.
Very nice. I don't know if anyone is listening to the show from last week, but we dubbed your parlay one of your best all-time contributions to the show, the A's,
Not a long list.
Jays, and Rays. The A's, Jays, and Rays parlay, an absolute must-play when it's available all season. It won't be all the time because the teams will end up playing each other.
That's the true beauty of it. 2 in
Yes.
the same division.
Yes.
Just gives you enough action.
And you're going to get some serious juice plus on the Jays with a team not having a home and no state willing to take them right
Maybe
now.
Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore's in the mix now?
We're going to
Yes.
rename them the Toronto Road Warriors because that's what they're going to do.
They're going to
We're
play
talking
the
about
Hoops. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
AB,
losing it.
I think we're only going to need to hit 3 of those A's, J's, Rays parlays to make it a positive result for the year with the way the prices are going to be.
And I was going to say, AB, every time one of those hit, we're going to send you that commercial clip from Natural Light Beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it to work on my phone.
Oh, you can call me Ray. You can call me Jay. You can call me Johnson.
Don't call me Johnson.
Absolutely don't call me Johnson. Mo, baseball. Give me something. Anything. What do you got?
I'm going to probably be switching through teams like crazy during the season. So I have nothing, absolutely nothing right now. I'll just be rooting in the Shohei kid, the Angels. I know Trout's the guy. That's the top dog. But as long as the Shohei kid's in there, then I'll be rooting for the Angels.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Trout's playing, and Shohei's gonna pitch. He's gonna play the field. We get the full onslaught of him as well. For me, I also kind of like the Phillies in the East. In the Central, I can't decide. I think the Cardinals are going to be there. The Pirates are going to win over 25 games. You can bet that over. Their pitching is going to be better than anybody thinks. Their bullpen's going to be a disaster, though. So you maybe a KBO situation. A lot of O's with the Pirates.
Crazy O's.
Yeah. NL West is Dodgers, but obviously the Padres are going to be there. The pitching is just going to carry them that far. The Diamondbacks may be the other team to contend there. I don't like the Rockies or the Giants. American League East, the whole division probably going to make the playoffs. The Yankees, the Rays, the Red Sox, they're all going to make it most likely now with this expanded format. AL Central, I like the Indians. I just think they're better pitching-wise, and I think they're going to be there all along. And the NL West, it's Houston until somebody knocks them off. But I don't like the Angels. I think they're going to not make the playoffs and go under their season wins. And I like the A's to go over their season wins.
Who'd you pick in the AL Central?
Indians.
Tomorrow they're going to be the Cleveland baseball team.
Oh,
CBT.
yeah. Someone asked us today. They called from one of the places and said, "Are you guys changing the name in the futures on the Redskins?" And
that's what I wrote in a tweet. What's it going to be on the parlay cards?
We did them all today. They're all Washington now. That's all it
Oh,
says.
not
That's all it says,
WFT?
just Washington.
I think it should
Washington.
be WFT.
Yes.
Yeah.
are they going to have a logo on the helmet, or is it just going to be a W or blank, or what's it going to be?
The number. They look like a high school team.
Oh yeah, nice. Look like Alabama.
Okay.
It's Alabama out there.
Yeah.
Do you guys get the feeling that somebody in Washington made the decision that said, well, they don't want us to call it the Redskins anymore, so fuck them, fuck everybody. Let's just call it the Washington football team. We can't offend anybody with that.
Well, no, it's just buying time.
I think they didn't have a plan. That's what's hilarious about this.
Right.
But that doesn't surprise me. I know who their owner is.
Doesn't have a plan for the team on the field, let alone what to call them or what
Correct.
to change the logo to. So, yeah, you're right. That's probably par for the course. Well, speaking of par for the course, Mo, golf betting. All right. We got your man Finau. He's third, -6. He posted 65 on a Thursday.
Yeah.
We told everybody last week, I believe the exact quote from you was, "There's no fucking way he's winning this tournament."
Yeah, we were dead on there. We did.
Sunday meltdown.
Yeah, Sunday meltdown. There's not. What'd you call it, Mo? Tradition like no other.
Yeah, a tradition unlike any other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a meltdown. It's just a regular Sunday for Finau. Like, people were saying I called it. I'm like, it's been happening for months.
He started early this week. He started on Saturday.
Yeah, oh man, he double bogeyed on a par 3. That's why I just said this is a bunch of bullshit.
Wait, here, real quick. How sick are you of people talking to you about Tony Finau?
I think I let the cat out of the bag when I told Eli.
Oh, okay.
Jokingly,
Yeah.
which I wasn't joking. You
Right.
know. And then it's just been something we've been talking about, I think, for 2 years now. So anyone saying I called it, I'm like, this has been happening, man. Like, I've been watching it, and it sucks. So today, when I seen that he was actually doing well, I was telling everyone in the risk room, I'm like, Finau's on his way, and everyone's just looking away from me.
You're embracing it.
I want him to win bad,
Yeah.
and I still want him to win, but
Right.
he's gonna blow it. He's gonna blow it again.
So rather than try to pick the winner, because this thing there's -8, -7. There's a lump of guys at -6, 5s, 4s. There's a lot of low scores already. I put it here in my notes. What will the winning score be? If I give you -17, are you going ov or un? I'll start with you, HB. This is one of those courses like Hartford where it feels like somebody going to post a number, but would you go ov or un -17 winning score?
Oh, if it was, so 4 5s is 20.
Yeah.
So this leader's 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think over.
Okay. AB, golf aficionado, un. Big un for the listeners. Really good radio right there. We got a thumbs down with no audio. Viewers, enjoy that. He gave it a thumbs down. Mo, what do you got?
It's going to go over.
Thank
I don't know. It just everyone seems like they're playing this course pretty well. It's going to go over somehow. 17, right?
17.
It's going to go over.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Finau? No,
not Finau. He'll finish maybe 12 under. He'll just get 6 birdies on the back 9 for no reason when he blows it early.
When he's out of contention.
Correct. Yeah, that's his move. That's
Does
his
he
game.
get good on Sundays when he isn't in the mix?
He has.
Okay.
He actually has. But
Yeah.
it's not, most of the times if he's in the top 5, 6, 7 golfers, he'll double bogey the first 2 holes and then we'll forget about him.
Right. They just stop showing him on TV, and then he, has 3 or 4 birdies in a row when no one's watching.
Yeah, boom, done. That's his game.
That's it. Well, I want to
Golf has
thank
the worst
Alvarez.
TV coverage, by the way.
Alvarez for posting the picture of him with Finau and his brother at that tournament in our feed on the GT Cash Consider Twitter feed. Much appreciated, Alvarez.
It
Keep
was a
the
great
tweet.
picture, by the way.
Yes, it was. It was excellent. Keep the tweets coming. The quote tweet is one of our favorite look forwards to every week. So we appreciate that. Let's move on to soccer. We've called soccer betting the NFL. Soccer is the new NFL. I think its run is over, Mo. What do you
What?
think?
Wait a minute.
He's got Timbers action right now.
Yeah, we actually have the Timbers
Shit,
on.
That's
you're
why
into
they keep-
Are you into MLS now?
That's why they keep looking to the right. I texted out.
he's looking?
I said, is there a girl in a bikini to your right? What's going on?
No, the fucking MLS is on. That's what he's looking at.
We,
Are you betting this MLS now, too? I thought you were just a European soccer guy.
It's all over the place now. I'm starting to understand what's going on. This was just a justice play. If there's any justice in the world, Timbers are going to cover the one. So
That's the Alvarez
that had no bearing on handicapping it. But yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about soccer now. I'm done. All the other sports are done.
Round football greater than mound ball.
That's
So
it. Yeah, round ball is better than mound ball.
Okay.
That could be like mad sports, so different sports. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine. Then.
that's I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I hope they enjoy it for one more week, boys, because if it's any indication what we saw today with the start of baseball and only 2 games, and like you said, tomorrow a full slate, ain't nobody going to be betting any shit on soccer except Mo and some real
Yeah,
sick
it's-
people
it was
with
like-
sickness.
It was like the KBO closed.
Right. No more KBO bets, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't
You
see
guys
anything.
didn't have me, right?
Somebody bet 1,000 on a total. I've never heard of this guy in my life. Some guy.
And he's like, as soon as MLB starts, I'm in.
I've never seen
Yeah.
that in my life.
It was
Why
funny.
you guys are going to lose your focus on the Dinos?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all that steam is gone.
It's all
That,
over.
that, that Dino steam is done for.
I liked this week, the texts and calls came into me like it was the start of preseason football. The calls you get every August are great from guys you haven't heard from since February. They played the Super Bowl, and in the old days, you settled up, and then you didn't see them again until August, and they'd be like, call and say, hey, how are things? Are we good to go? Is my account good? In the old days, a guy would owe you $400, and you'd have to square up with him in August before you even got started. I got more of those texts with the start of baseball, basketball, and hockey coming up here. We saw some old faces show up today, boys, and we all know the names, and we'll discuss it later after the show. But it was enjoyable to see the influx of customers and money just pop in and couldn't wait to, parlay the dog and over or the home team and under in the baseball. And how much are you taking in the first 5? Because, it's the first day and you got to fire away. Is the soccer run over? Mo? Are you really you think people are going to bet this?
I'm too entranced in it at this point. I don't think I've seen another sport where I enjoyed it this much, learning about it in like 3 weeks. So I have to play it. I played the dogs all the time. This is a different type of world for me.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a whole different world, man. So I got to keep it going. I have to.
Are we still riding the Atalanta train?
They actually play AC Milan tomorrow. It's probably one of the bigger games in the world.
You have been paying
Not in
attention.
the world.
Big matchup. Are we riding the Atalanta train for the listeners that get the show on Friday before the game? Yes or no?
If we're going to cut anything, it's got to be over. We have to bet the over.
Okay.
There's no other way.
All right.
It's
Mark
done.
it down.
Mark that down. Reynolds, please.
Atalanta over. Soccer talk on the show today also over. Let's move on to UFC. Now, this is another thing that literally has carried the books. It's carried the books for a month. Saturdays have been incredible. Fight Island, the Apex, all of it. I've watched more fights and more stuff regarding the UFC and really enjoyed it. But with the onslaught of team sports in the United States starting this week, I don't have a clue who's fighting this week. No one's talked about it. I haven't seen it. Let's go to our UFC specialists. Let's start off with Reynolds. The main event, Till Whitaker, looking at like a minus 125. Whitaker, small favorite. This looks like a very competitive fight, right or wrong?
It's a hard one to read, man, because Whitaker is, to me, one of the best fighters in the world. And then he had a horrible run of like personal problems and injuries. He was burnt out going into the Adesanya fight. Then Adesanya clowned him. I think he fought angrily in that fight, which ended up costing him. And now this is his first fight back. Darren Till is a guy that was making big cuts down to 170 pounds, was struggling with the scale more than the fight, moves up to 185, has a terrible fight with Kelvin Gastelum, who's a head case, right? Ekes out a split decision there, and all of a sudden people are like, yeah, Darren Till, yeah, he's a real middleweight. He's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good test for him. I think Whitaker has way too many skills, but I don't know, how Whitaker's been handling quarantine stuff. I don't know where his head's at right now.
AB, did you write a column this week about the UFC at all?
I did, sir. I did.
And give us a little preview. I mean, if you don't go get the print edition of the Gaming Today to read Alan's column, it's available online as well. But what did you write about this week in the column?
I like Whitaker, man. I think he's priced too low. I kind of had probably like maybe about 155 on him as a favorite.
Okay.
Which for me, like I'm a very conservative guy when it comes to the fights. I really want to find guys that can win by knockout usually. So to me, this is that type of fight. I just think he'll get to Till eventually. He's very active. Till isn't. I think the pressure will get to Till. Eventually, he'll make a mistake, and my man Bobby Knuckles will take care of business.
All right, there you have it. I like that breakdown. Boys, that last pay-per-view with these submissions, I have never seen a knee bend backwards like it did in that woman's fight. That was brutal. Then the other one with the choke out where the guy literally went out like that. And I didn't know that you put a person's feet up in the air that fast and wake them back up. But very impressive events. It has been the last couple. I saw some interesting wagers today, and I wanted to get your opinion before we move on a fight lower on the card. Jai Herbert and Francisco Trinaldo.
Oh, yeah. A lot of good two-way on that at Circa.
Okay, we saw a lot of sharp action on the dog in that one, and I don't know what to make of it. Did you guys see anything like that at all? Mo, you said you saw two-way on that fight?
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, all the way up and down the ladder of the lines that we've already had out. But, yeah, it should be pretty good. I'm hoping up to post it, goes our way, I'm hoping.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Just from what I've seen, I'm going to say Herbert's a live dog. Let's put it that way. We'll see where that price closes. We had that thing as high as, I believe, minus 160. And when I left work today, we're down to minus 130. 7:30. So that'll tell you where we're at with people coming back into the book and wagering for the limits. Pretty respected place on that end. All right. I got to ask, we said it last week, college football, I want to use the quote exactly the way Mo said it. College football is doomed. We've gone another week. HB, you're getting closer and closer to sending the kid down to ASU. Is college football still doomed as of today, Thursday, July 23rd?
I'm concerned. I would bet it won't go. They took two more classes that were supposed to be on campus and moved them to online, we found out today.
Oh.
I just think from a trending standpoint, it's trending wrong.
Okay. All right. Mo, stance the same?
I'm basing everything if TCU ends up playing UNLV on the 29th. If that game doesn't happen, then there will be no college football. Mark that down. That's all I know.
Yeah, I saw that they actually are negotiating to set that game up, right? That's going to that. Did they say that they signed that deal?
Well, Cal, part of the Pac-12, they're out of every non-conference game, and their first two games were against UNLV and TCU. So, I've just been making a joke about it. I'm like, this is the real game, the catalyst, UNLV, TCU. And if that doesn't go, then we're doomed. Part two. We're doomed part two.
Kendall wanted to say hi. Kendall, do you think they're going to play college football this season? Probably not. All right.
I owe Kendall like $40.
Thanks for joining us. See you later.
More
Go play more Fortnite after the show, after we're done recording. All right. AB, we've been talking about, we talk about college and you usually drift off. Pro football, Mark Davis came and said he's not going to the stadium unless fans can go. Do you think, one, we're going to get NFL? Because now there's no more preseason. Again, they did us all a favor. We don't have preseason football. It hurts the people that work at the stadiums. It hurts a lot of guys that maybe earn jobs. I understand that. I'm not going to miss any preseason football as a bookmaker, as a bettor. You think we're going to see football? And do you think we're going to see people in stands, even if it's 25% or less, in the NFL?
Yes, we'll have football. Yes, we'll eventually have 25% fans. When they will kick off, that's the thing I'm not quite clear on. I almost could see where they're going to take week 1, 2, and maybe even 3 and throw that on the back end of the schedule. That's kind of what I think they might do.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. That's the way it feels. Everything the way it's trending, like HB just said, it feels like I hope we're not delaying the inevitable and having nothing, but at least we're kicking it back, the start of it, to maybe the end of September or the beginning of October. But, again, we don't know. We'll wait and see. It's been very interesting. I can't wait for next week when we have round-the-clock basketball in the bubble, hockey in different ends of Canada, games all around the clock, and then, we have halftimes, first period O's, all kinds of things happening for Mo to tweet about and us to watch. And
No, I was just thinking about all the bad things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
As far as from a betting standpoint, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
HB, we'll rely on you to keep an eye on the horse handle. Del Mar, are they going to open this week? This weekend?
They are. And they added a day to the back end. They're going to race Monday. So it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The jocks are now doing better. I think everyone's, for the most part, tested negative, and they'll reopen. No crowd, no fans, just media and the people that work at the track, and hopefully they can pull it off.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see if the horse handle drops off, because now the good tracks are running between Saratoga and Del Mar. It feels like we're getting more actually tracks that were available to bet in Nevada. So hopefully handle will stay what it is for horse players, but I got to be honest, I think it's going to drop off now that we have people back in action on United States team sports. But Again,
Fair
we'll
enough.
see. Yep.
And a new development put on the Gaming Control Board calendar for next month. Some legislation to combine online your sports betting wallet and your horse racing app as one. So you can move the money back and forth like you can do in other states.
Ironically, that's probably not going to affect that many people because everyone over 50 can't figure out which wallet to use anyway.
I want to parlay the 2-horse to the Yankees.
That's all.
That's gonna be the new. That's gonna be the new stuff happening.
Yeah.
Get ready for that. That's gonna set the world on fire.
No. You have to wait until the 2-horse wins, and then you can put on the Yankees. Yeah, but I don't understand what wallet I'm in.
Yeah.
Just put it all together. They said I'm good here.
There you
Nice
go.
vote of confidence, Dave, on people that are older that can't use phones.
You got to go to the books, HP. I see you taking pictures in all these books. Just start talking to people and looking. You're one of the younger guys that are playing horses. I can tell you that right now. It's got to come around. It's got to come back. We'll see. All right, before we get out of here, let's swing it around for a Take a Minute segment. If you've got one, let's start with, AB just legendary last week with A's, J's, and Rays parlay. I can't wait to put it out and tweet it every time it's available. What do you got this week for Take a Minute? Anything?
I got nothing.
Right on cue. Fair enough. There it is. Mo, I'll give you a chance to think about it. HB, what do you have from the dungeon over there? Any horse plays? You and Minty have been doing a great job. And again, the paper came out today. It's a must pick up in the places. Books all over the country. We got people listening to this show everywhere in the United States. Get in touch with Howard at Gaming Today News. Send him a DM. Get the paper in your book. You won't be sorry. But where are you at, HB? 1 minute.
No sermon today, just thanking everybody for sticking with us through the 12 or so weeks of digital. And we're back in print. We will be expanding our print network across the country as more places have budget and they have more fans coming in to bet the 3 major sports at this point. So more will be coming online. Thanks to everybody for your support, and we appreciate it.
There you go.
Beautiful.
That's Howard Barish at Gaming Today News on Twitter. The paper is just the Gaming Today, available both online and print edition, is back after a 12-week hiatus. Mo Toy at He These Takes. What do you got, brother?
Well, in between all of what was going on, somehow LAFC scored 2 goals. The Timbers were up 1-0 for I think 30 minutes, and this is looking like a disaster. But if anyone's listening, I'm going to start giving out soccer plays in about 3 weeks. So if people want to start subscribing to my soccer moves, you let them know to come to Cash Considerations first.
All right, there you have it.
Yeah.
Mo's soccer plays. We're going to have to come up with a name
I'm
for
giving
that
out
segment.
soccer moves.
Can you pick draw in the MLS?
You can.
Yes.
And when you do, you're rewarded very handsomely. Because the price is usually the best price of the 3 options.
I don't know how to sweat the draw out yet properly. I'll give people the pointers on that soon, but
It's the extra time.
out of control, man.
The extra time's the killer.
I've never been so excited over 1 point or a goal in my life in any sport, even baseball. That seldomly you get runs, but
I could see you when a guy breaks away going, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Well, the sweat is crazy because the score, if you're watching it on Flash Score or whatever app you use, it's 0-0 for a year. So when you get 1 on your end, you start punching people in the face. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's the totals are crazy, but anytime you can get a good dog, man, it's pretty good.
Mo's Moves, soccer plays, sponsored by the GT's Cash Considerations podcast. Can't wait for it to come. That'll be excellent. We'll get to, as we get closer to, I don't know, maybe some English Premier. Pick your league, Mo. The Spanish La Liga is down, right? We're going to the playoffs?
Yeah, Spain La Liga, I think it's done.
Yeah.
EPL ends on Sunday, Championship Sunday. I think Serie A is what I'm gonna mark.
I was going to ask you about Serie A.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mark it down. That's gonna be my thing. Until it starts to go bad, then we'll just delete all the stuff that we said. Reynolds can handle that.
Fair enough. All I took from one of the past week's shows was AB said, bet against the Whitecaps I believe was the advice. And
1-1.
Oh yeah, they just won today.
1-1.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, it was a
They
rain delay. It
smoked the
doesn't count.
Fire.
It doesn't count.
Oh, it's out?
Well, no, it counts, but no,
Oh.
I watched it. It doesn't
shit.
count. That doesn't count.
it was a draw?
It was
No, they got
2-0.
smoked. The Fire
Oh.
are really bad too.
Okay. Well, I've been using that.
Seattle smashed them. But after I gave out that proclamation, they absolutely annihilated.
Oh
the
yeah,
White
yeah,
Sox.
Smoke Fest.
Yes, you
How
did.
about the
man.
Seattle Kraken? How about that name?
Oh yeah.
There goes my fucking take a minute. Thanks. Damn it. You great minds think alike, but release the
You didn't send me
Kraken.
the script.
Son of a bitch. I was saving it, but there it is. We got a new NHL team.
Sorry.
That's okay. Their team name doesn't end in S. It's the Kraken. And I love the uniforms. I love the logo. And I'm going to learn to like the team name. Initially, I'm just waiting for someone to, give the updates and say, Kraken lead 2-1 over the Golden Knights. It's going to sound very awkward, but it's long overdue that Seattle gets a hockey team. I think they're going to do a great job marketing it. And I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter, but our man Crack didn't waste any time. Somehow got his name on a damn tweet in Kraken and something else. The ink wasn't even dry on the press release, and there was a picture of Crack next to the S logo.
Captain Jack did it.
He was
Yeah.
waiting on that. That's a crack moment. Like,
I think the official Seattle Kraken podcast is gonna be called Ask Crack.
Ask Kraken.
Crack, one of our all-time best stories from our friend K-Dub. Hope you're listening to the show up in Colorado. That story is too good. Go back and find that episode. All of our past episodes are available wherever you find podcasts. Listeners,
No, that story is incredible.
it's so good. It's
a good story.
And now we may have to institute a weekly Ask Kraken, something, release the Kraken segment. But thank you to the listeners for listening to the show. We're growing in different markets. Someone found us in Colorado and has spread the word. Thank you. There's people listening in other countries. Someone found us in Wales. I just went through the list.
The Wales
going
homies.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Williams.
Soccer takes.
They're coming through, baby.
Whatever they're doing, Mo, absolutely, the soccer takes are flying. For the boys, I'm going to swing it around. At Gaming Today News, Howard Barish.
HB.
At Percent Bird, Alan Berg. At He These Takes, Matoy Pearson.
My man.
And at I Am Reynolds 2305, the producer extraordinaire. Special thanks again to Chuck Esposito, the sportsbook director at Sunset Station, for joining us today. And the show
Great Chuck.
at GT Cash Consider. Again, thank you for listening. My handle is at SportsBKConsig for Sportsbook Consigliere. Next week, let's give you a tease. We're going to talk some NBA. We're going to talk hockey. And we're bringing on from Fox Sports, Lock It In, and his Bet the Board podcast, Todd Furman is going to be our guest on the show.
Oh, shit.
And
Oh.
him and Mo have a lot of things to talk about, apparently. And we're going to just leave it at that.
That's
But thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We are